Hi everyone, Mary the Psychic Shaman here, and I decided to do a video showing you what I do, the walkthrough of when I come into my spiritual room, when I am doing any work, whether actually I will be doing some writing in a little while in a ritualistic type of manner by journeying and doing a little bit of kind of channeled writing, but really it's a specific process that was given to me. So really anything I do, if I do reading for somebody, if I'm doing a coaching session, even most of the time doing videos, I'll do this as well. And obviously it changes depending on what I'm doing. Like for example, when I open sacred space, if I'm doing it reading for somebody, then I will actually, with each direction I will call in, I will also state, my purpose, what my intention is for the work that I'll be doing. With their name and place of birth, which helps me. So what I will do, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to see everything, so I'll be moving around some, so hopefully it won't be too bad. So we're just trying this out here. So when I first come in, I have 4 candles, sometimes 5. If I'm working with somebody or for somebody, I will have a candle that I light specifically for them. But as this is just for me, I am going to light the 4 candles I have in each 4 directions. These candles are $1 at the dollar store. They're pretty awesome. So I definitely stock up on these, which is nice. So I will light each of these. And obviously when I do this, I'm not talking and I'm very quiet, and I'm already getting into that altered type of state just by going through this ritualistic process of opening my space. Since I don't have a shelf on this wall, I have a little piece of wood on the floor on the carpet where I put that candle so it doesn't tip over. And surprisingly, I have not knocked into it. So hopefully it stays that way. And now there are times where I will light incense. I'm not going to do this time, but you can light incense, or resins work well too for specific purposes as well. Sometimes there's some crystals I'll utilize, which I will be doing later, going into my mesa and pulling out specific kuyas that I'll be using for my ritualistic writing. So I do that. So I've got my candles all lit. And then I open sacred space. Now, this changes sometimes. Now, a lot of times I will light some sage, some frankincense, whatever really I feel like. When I'm opening sacred space, I will do an offering for each time. A lot of times I spit Florida water. Sometimes I have used sage before, but usually I do not. So, times if I feel like I need to, I will go through the room and even myself and use some sage. And this time is not really that necessary. I just love using this beautiful fan. Got on Etsy. It's pretty awesome, handmade. Now sometimes when I'm opening sacred space, I'll use a rattle. This rattle, even this little rattle to call in. Sometimes I'll use a drum, but not that often, just because I want my hands. A lot of times I will utilize this wand. It's kind of like my power source. So I created this wand, and with it, I will point to each direction. And the beads are not quite as nice as a rattle, but they do serve the purpose of calling in. And there's a bell too you can use. It has a beautiful sound. Sometimes I'll even do that beforehand, to each of the directions, and to Mother Earth and the spirit world. Now, some people are not that good at spitting Florida water. I actually am one of them, but I keep doing it. If you really don't want to do that, you can also put it in a spray bottle. It just doesn't seem to have the same feeling though. It's like your life force breath when you're giving your offering to each direction seems to be better if it's spit out. And this is something, that for shamanic shamanic practices, people use Florida water to spit, or, spitting it out. I don't know of any other practice, I could be wrong, that does spit the water out of their mouth. But it's really a beautiful feeling of giving yourself with the offering. So like I said, you can use sage when you're opening sacred space for an offering, frankincense, really anything you want. But for me with this, it feels like it's part of me that I'm spitting out as well. And I think I am going to use this rattle this time. And sometimes what I'll do too, before I start, is this breathing exercise, which I've showed you before just to get me in the mood. To the winds of the south, Amaru, Sachamama, Great Serpent, you help us to shed that which no longer serves us, so that we may walk softly in the beauty way. Coil your lights around us. Let us shed like you shed your skin. I ask that you please come and join us in this sacred space of healing. Hayaya. The winds of the west, Chokachinchai, Spirit Bear, Ororongo, Mother Sister Jaguar, you who come from the place of the dying sun, you who help us to walk in the shadows without fear, to walk in lightness and darkness, life and death, with peace and integrity. I ask that you please come and walk with us. Help us during this shadow season to shed, to face our fears, to let them rise, to acknowledge, accept, and release all shame. I ask that you please come and join us in this sacred space of healing. Hayaya. To the winds of the north, Great Buffalo, Hummingbird, ancestors, grandmothers, grandfathers, ancient ones, come warm your hands by our fires. Whisper to us on the winds the wisdom of the ages. We honor you who came before us, you who come after us, our children and our children's children. Buffalo, we thank you for showing us how to be steadfast, and Hummingbird, showing us the sweetness in life. I ask that you please come and join us in this sacred space of healing. Hayaya. To the winds of the east, Great Eagle, Apuchin, Condor, Conter, you who come from the place of the rising sun, you who glide so beautifully in that space between heaven and earth. Let us soar wingtip to wingtip so that we may converse with the mountain spirits, so that you may show us the big picture, but yes, point out the details. I ask that you please come and join us in the sacred space of healing. Hayaya. Beautiful Pachamama, Mother Earth, you who held us upon our first breath, and you who will hold us unto our last. You whose creations are our relations, the two-legged, the four-legged, the winged, the furred, the scaled, the plant people, the stone people, the tree people, even the creepy crawlers. We thank you for giving us sustenance while we're here on earth and for allowing us to learn the medicines of our breath in. I ask that you please come wrap your warmth around us, your motherly love, the love of the triple goddess. We ask that you come and join us in this sacred space of healing. Hayaya. Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, Star Nations, Star Brothers and Star Sisters, angels, archangels, spirit guides, gods, goddesses, universe source, you who have thousands of names but yet are unnameable. We thank you for sending your angels to keep this space sacred and holy. We thank you for allowing this breath one more day. We thank you all for being just a request away from aiding us on this beautiful journey while we're here on earth. And I ask that you please come and join us in this sacred space of healing. Now I ask that my beautiful guides, my power animal, my Ginny, my Aslan, my Loki, my gatekeeper, to be with me. And after this, we have opened sacred space. Now I will sit with this feeling when I do this, obviously when I'm not recording. I will sit or stand, but sit in this space while I call in my guides, my power animal, my other guides, as well as my gatekeeper and one of my animal allies as well. And I will sit here in this beautiful praying type of pose in peace and feel them come in. So when I call in each of my guides, they're in a certain spot. You know, my power animal's always on my right. I've got one guide in front of me, one to the left. I've got one guide, which I have not really connected with yet. She is behind me. And then I have my gatekeeper and my helper for healing, as well as another animal ally that I have. And what I will do is I will call each of them in, and I can feel their different resonance, their energy. So, you know, that different vibrations. So I can tell who is around me just by feeling that. So I will sit or stand here calling them in and just feel when they enter my space. And that is how I open sacred space. From here, then I do whatever work I'm going to do. So for now, like I will be opening my mesa, picking out a few kuyas that I will be using for writing. You know, and if I'm not doing anything with electronics that I don't need, I keep them outside of this room. It just seems to help. But now, because I am doing writing, I do have my computer in here. There are, you know, different times depending on what you're doing. Now you can leave this sacred space open for really a week if you want to. If you really feel that you need to open sacred space and keep it open for that time, you can do that. I close it every time that I'm done. Now, if I have, you know, a long list of clients or whatever, if I'm working on several people in a day, now I could leave it open. A lot of people do just open it for that day and then close it at the end of the day. I don't do that, partially because when I do open this sacred space, if it is for a client, then I, you know, do that and actually utilize their name. So for me, I close it down after each time I'm done with whatever I'm doing. You can do this if you want a little bit of love, help to bring that power into you. You can sit with it just to feel it, feel the difference. Utilize it for creativity. For protection, if you feel that you need a little more guidance and protection, you can do that as well. Like I said, and you can do this over your whole, like people do it when they go into a hotel room. Just make sure to close it. You can do this for the whole house as well. You know, it's different but similar to opening a circle for, you know, and if you're doing magic type of thing. This is really bringing the universe and all the archetypes in to help you with what you're doing, to give, you know, lend you their power. So like if I'm journeying for someone, like, you know, I asked Odorongo, Mother Sister Jaguar, to, you know, come and walk with me or walk with us through the shadow. You know, we're entering shadow season, and some of the writing I will be doing, I already know will have to do with the shadow work. So that's why I specifically, you know, talked more about that with the Odorongo. Odorongo is amazing for if you're going doing soul retrievals or you know, past life stuff, to have her help you find, you know, or if I'm going and doing a journey for somebody and I am looking for information, you know, or guidance for them, a lot of times I'll ask Odorongo to help. So it really depends, you know, when opening sacred space, it's like you've got a basis of what, you know, for calling in each direction, you got a basis, but you expand on it, you make it your own, and you know, it can change depending on what work you're doing. You know, you can add in different things. So there's no, you know, there's not a written thing for exactly what you should say. You go off, you know, you can find different things. Four Wind Society has an example, which is pretty short, but you can read some of the different people's and then make it your own. And that's really how you do it. So this is just a little video explaining how, what I do every time I come in here and do any work. I think that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, sorry this got a little long, but if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, pop a comment in or what have you. So again, with all the love, this is Mary the Psychic Shaman, wishing you guys farewell. See ya.